prosecutors in Florida and FBI agents have released more information in the shooting death of Ibragim Todashev. Now, he was allegedly a friend of Tamerlan Tsarnaev, who was the Boston bomber, and they were investigating him and interrogating him for his involvement in a triple homicide. Now, they allege that while they were at his apartment questioning him for more than 5 hours, he became very, very agitated. He had confessed to taking part in that triple homicide. He was about to write a letter saying that he was involved in it. But right before that happened, he became so agitated that he grabbed a pole and started attacking the agents with it. As a result, they shot at him about 4 times. They say that that wasn't enough. He didn't seem to be incapacitated at that point, so they decided to shoot more rounds at him, and he died. Now, one of the agents had this big gash and cut on his head. However, people are questioning whether or not that's what really went down.
Yeah, here's why I'm questioning it. And it's not just people, it's me. I'm questioning it, okay? I did that story the day that it broke, and it said that the FBI and all these guys who were in the room, and they weren't all FBI, there was also local police there, they came out and they said he had a knife. And then midway through the day, they changed the story and said he didn't have a knife. Then they changed the story back and said he did have a knife. And then it turned out he didn't have a knife. So that's incredibly questionable. You can go back and find those stories and you'll see. Some of those stories say he has a knife and some say he doesn't. That's because that's what the authorities put out. And then they realized, oops, we forgot to plant the knife. There actually is no knife. And then their second reasoning was, oh, well, he knocked over the table. Oh, he knocked over a coffee table, so you shot him 4 times and then you shot him again. Well, that seemed like a really weak excuse. And I was wondering what was going to happen with that. I mean, look, do I know what happened in that room? Of course, I wasn't in the room. But I know what's a BS story when I see one, and I called it out on the day of, right? Yeah. And I was really curious to see if anybody was going to be held accountable. You have all these officers in the same room with a guy who's unarmed, and then they shoot him dead. They say, oh, no, he was, trust us, he was about to confess to the triple homicide. Yeah. And right before he wrote it down, he overturned the coffee table and we had to murder him.
There was also a lot of propaganda about this guy before and after all of this went down. So there was propaganda about how he was an MMA fighter and that he was extremely violent and you shouldn't mess with him. Sure. And they feared for their lives as a result of him having
What kind of pussies are you? Now I'm pissed, right? Like, you've got how many cops in that room, and you're all armed, and he's not. Oh, my God, he's like some MMA fighter. Oh, you were in the room with him for 5 hours.
I know, but it's indicative of how we deal with everyone who is suspected of doing anything wrong in the country at this point, right? Like the way, I mean, what we did with, killing a U.S. citizen abroad and his 16-year-old son with a drone strike. I mean, that sends a message. Like, you kill, and no one's going to question it. No one's going to, fight against it, because that's the standard. That's the precedent that they've set at this point.
Now, if you think he's so dangerous and this incredible Hannibal Lecter-like MMA fighter that could destroy you with his bare hands, even though you're all armed, why are you interviewing him in his living room? If he was about to confess to a triple homicide, why isn't he in cuffs? Why is he in the police station? Why are you sitting in his living room, and then all of a sudden, instead of cuffing him or taking him downtown or anything, you shoot him dead? And so now the conclusion is, oh, there was a poll that was never mentioned before. First time it's in any news article is, poll, there was a poll, and then there was one of the guys got a gash, and, well, very dangerous polls in his living room. After he knocked over the coffee table, everybody's free to go. Nobody's going to be held accountable because we don't care. We don't care. If you're a cop, you're an FBI agent, you're in the government, as Anna pointed out, you can kill anyone you like. We're never going to hold you accountable. Now, on this guy, all connected with Tsarnaev and triple homicide, boo, MMA, scary. So we shot him dead. Don't worry about it. And by the way, here's what's going to happen about this going forward. Nothing. They'll totally get away with it. I don't think the guy was connected to the Rockefellers or the Rothschilds or whatever. I don't know. I don't know why they shot him. But I would have liked a real investigation. Right. Maybe they got pissed. Maybe they were fake threatening him and the gun went off. And then they covered up for it. I don't know. But it would have been nice to try to find out. But nobody wanted to find out. They killed the guy and everybody just wanted to cover it up and move on with their lives. And that's what they're doing now. There's no way the rest of the news media is going to give his side of the story or any other side of the story. This is the only place where you'll see it. The rest of the media will say, dangerous man connected to the Boston bombers was justifiably killed when he attacked FBI and police officials. And that'll be the last you ever hear of him. Another guy killed by the cops, the FBI in this case, and nothing done about it. What do we tell people? We tell people, hey, listen, as much as it sucks, don't fuck around. I mean, these days we got a police state and they'll just kill you without even batting an eye, right? So cooperate, right? Now, I don't know what this guy was doing, but he's in his living room. It's not like he pulled a gun on him, right? We don't know what he's doing. He cooperated with them for 5 straight hours.
Yeah, what sounds...
But no, not enough. They kill him anyway.
Yeah, what sounds really fishy is how they changed the story. And on top of that, isn't it convenient that he confessed to being part of this triple homicide, but he didn't put it in writing? Right before he put it in writing, he became combative.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's a way of smearing him and saying, hey, he's a really dangerous guy. He killed 3 people. So yeah, we shot him.
I don't know. You'd have to do a real investigation, which they're never, ever going to do. They're just going to cover it up. But I call 100% bullshit on that he confessed right before we shot him. Oh, he just didn't have a chance to write it down. Who looks at that and goes, oh yeah, that's plausible. Yeah, that's likely. Bullshit. 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 There's no way I believe that. But all they're going to do is cover each other's asses. It's fucking frustrating, man. But look, because who cares about this guy? I don't know this guy. Maybe he was fishy. Oh, he knew the Tsarnaevs. I don't know him. I don't care about him. It's not about him, right? One day, it's going to be someone you know in that living room. And when they murder him, nobody's going to do a damn thing about it.
Is it any more fishy or any more bullshit than those cases where you have black defendants handcuffed behind their backs, sitting in the patrol car, who committed suicide by shooting themselves in the temple?
Yeah, and they got away with that.
They got away with that too. So I mean, this happens. You know, obviously not all cops are evil. Blah blah blah. Of course, but cops can kill. They can flat out murder people and get away with it.
Yeah, I don't know how it used to be, man. I don't know. Maybe it was always like this. Or maybe at some point there was some accountability. We had a government that actually represented us. But I feel like the fact that we've lost our democracy is in some way connected to the fact that the government is not accountable anymore. That they can kill U.S. citizens and nobody gives a shit. There's no accountability. Because, I mean, maybe in the old days people would get outraged and you would do something about it. Now there's not a damn thing you would do about it.